Hello, everybody. Okay, good to see you, everybody. Yeah, we already have. Feel free to tell us where you join us from, which city, which country, and yeah, we're very excited to share our knowledge with you today again. And yeah, today is a leadership call, and we're going to have a very inside leadership training with Rene. Once more, he's going to share his knowledge and his passion with the forensic networker. And it's going to be very, very interesting for everyone to join. Hello, John from Vancouver. Yes, I see you. Good evening, everyone. Hello, Rashinda from India. Thank you for joining the call. Yes, good to see you. Mohammed, yes. Hello, Maria Baptiste. Thank you for joining us. Yes, one of our faithful leaders who are always there to support us, always there to give us a boost and to encourage us. I really appreciate your presence. Yes, so today is going to be a very interesting call. The Forensic Networker call is a call that's going to, teach us about how to lead by example, and share the knowledge that we have with our partners, being able to communicate properly with every partners. So it's a very, very important call that's going to enable us to, be more efficient in our daily operation. And it's very important to pay attention. So get your notebook ready, get your card ready, pay attention, be open-hearted, be coachable, and be ready to learn, because that's what it's all about. We're all here today to learn. And yes, we're going to learn for one of the best again, Rene. And I would like to, without further ado, give the mic to Rene now to begin the call.
Okay. Thank you so much, Levi, for being our wonderful host again of the month. I'm not sure what time it is for you in your neck of the woods. I believe it's pretty early in the morning. I think it is, right?
May?
Yes.
Oh no, it's evening. It's 9 p.m. now, so.
Oh right. Okay. So we're still.
Time. I'm on Eastern Standard Time, so.
That's right. Sorry, I was thinking you're somewhere in like Israel or something. Yeah, because you work so closely with the girls running you this. Okay. Well, thank you so much, and a very wonderful, of course, morning, afternoon, or evening. Wherever you are in the world, and I do appreciate your comment there, John. I humbly, thank you for that. But of course, I'm just a regular person, that saw this opportunity, of course, 14 years ago, and just got started and got to work. And of course, I think that for this evening, it'd be a really fitting time, I think, just to talk about a topic that that perhaps we don't talk about very often. Maybe we do some other calls, but I know that with our upcoming boot camp on Saturday, we're doing a lot of training, of course, on the core basic skills of the business. And so, if you're on this call and you would learn to know how to prospect people, say I, right? Because that's going to be covered in this coming Saturday's training. And of course, if you want to learn how to be really good at building relationships, right? Say I. Again, please feel free to put your messages in the group chat. I love it when we have more interaction. It keeps me going as well too. And so if you're on the call, you want to learn how to prospect or build better relationships, say yes, you do. And more importantly, don't miss, of course, the call the boot camp we have this coming Saturday. So for those who are, of course, in the Toronto area, please do come down, because I believe that whenever you can attend a training in person, you just get, a lot more, just less distractions, if you want to call it that. You're always going to be able to, keep your eye focused on the speaker. Sometimes being at home, things can come up. Your phone flickers something, and you see some social media thing or a message notification. It kind of distracts you, right? So whereas I think when you're in a live training, of course, and you're going to be focusing on the speaker, you get a lot more out of that. So I don't want to focus on those topics, because I want to save it, of course, for Saturday's training. Oh, welcome. We have, of course, Jamaica in the house. I know we have people in Vancouver, and of course, we have amazing leaders on the call, and globally, the Philippines. Welcome to the Philippines to the call. Of course, we have Terry from Alberta, and so tonight I wanted to lead tonight's call with a question. And this question, when I heard it early on in my career within direct sales, it really drove deep for me. And the question that I heard, I'm going to ask you the same question. And I recall being interviewed by Simon Chan from MLM Nation. And he asked me what's some of my favorite quotes or sayings in the industry. And the one that always stuck with me, I guess, all this time, right, till now, I'm going to pose that same question to you. And it's in regard to leadership. And let's take a step back, right? Guys, why do you think leadership is important? Right? Why do you think leadership is important in this business? And not just this business, but really in everything that you do, right? Being a leader in your household, being a leader in your workplace, having leadership qualities in your team sports. So what do you guys think, and why do you think that, leadership is important? Let's see what your responses are here. So John says, we need to know the way forward, right? So, can we lead from behind, right? A lot of us here want to have, of course, a lot of sales, and some of us want to have big teams, right? And if you're on the call and you want to have big teams, I think the first question you want to ask yourself is, can you lead a team from behind? Or do you see leaders always leading from the front? Right? I think one of the most good examples is, imagine, again, we're not in war here, but I'm just going to lead using an example. Imagine you're in war, right? And there's like an army battling, right? Those war movies where you always see like these two armies lined up on both sides, right? And before the war starts, right? What always happens before the war, the battle's engaged, right? What happens, you have one main person, like the king or the general, and what's that king and general doing before they set off for the charge, right? Number one, they're what do leaders do? I'm using this as an analogy. I'm not going to war, but it's just a great analogy to use. What are they doing? With everyone lined up, right? And usually in these war movies, the king on the horse or the general on the horse, they start riding up and down the line, right? Again, I like watching these old kind of battle movies, right? But Mavis said it, right? They ride up and down their whole army behind them, and they start motivating. They're inspiring. They're pumping the bananas out of their people, to get them ready, And guess what? The same thing happens in business, right? I remember when I used to work as a programmer in IT at TELUS, and it was the funniest thing. So every Monday morning, and I don't know why our manager did this, he wanted to have a meeting at like 9 in the morning. So the first thing, imagine a great weekend. Sunday nights, sometimes you party a bit late too. And the first thing we had to do was Monday morning. Like, why would you do this? At like 8 or 9 in the morning, you got to go there for like a weekly meeting. And so anyways, that's okay. I got the point that he wanted to get the team together, start of the week, set the pace, set the trend for the week. But the whole Monday morning, what he would be doing is just complaining. He's complaining about every problem, with management, with this and with that. Do you think that was inspiring for people on a Monday morning, to go into the office bright and early, and the first thing you hear is negativity, basically? Is that inspiring? No, right? It's so demotivating, and it made me hate my work even more. I was like, why am I here hearing this crap at 8, 9 in the morning on a Monday morning? I had a great weekend. First thing I come in Monday morning, and boom, it's like a load of just unloading his garbage on people. So again, leaders try to inspire, right? They try to pump up the people and get their people going. And now let me ask you a question, right? Let's say you were in this army and you wanted to and you're about to get into like this big battle, right? Would you be more incentivized to follow a leader who says charge, and then they hang back in the crowd, behind his army? Or is it more inspiring when the king or the general says charge, and they're the first ones to bolt off that line? And like, which one would pump you up more, right? What's your answers, guys? Would you follow the one who says charge from behind, right? Option 1. Or would you be more inspired to follow the one who just takes off bolting, and leads by example, right? Yeah, the leader in the front. Charge right in, right? And when you see them just laser focus, going straight forward, not even looking back, right? You just want to follow that. And so, again, we're not going to war here, but there's a lot of similar traits when it comes to leadership. And we have an amazing training on the different categories of distributorship within network marketing. And, we'll do that training another time, but one of the things that keep coming up is it relates to the question that I heard when I was really, really young in the industry. And that question was, would you want to be, maybe you can write this down, would you want to be sponsored by yourself? That is the question. I'm going to type it out here for everyone and let it really sink in. Would you want to be sponsored by yourself? That's the question. Now, of course, you might be brand new, and that's okay. But again, as time goes on, I think one of the things that you want to be able to say in this company as years go on is the answer yes, that you would want to be sponsored by yourself, because it meant that you could be taken care of. So like if you can be sponsored by yourself, it means that that you can take care of your team. You can lead by example. You know how to, again, guide your team, support your team, right? And thank you, Imelda, right? Sometimes you don't even have a visible upline. Like, believe me, guys, I know how you feel, because when I got started in 2007, right? The only other actual active upline, actually, there was none. I was thinking Reza, but Reza actually, again, if you know the whole story with Reza, he got active about 2 years or a year after I became really active. So at the time I first got started, my own sponsor really wasn't moving as quick as I was, and they didn't learn as fast as I did. But I think in some cases, people will make that excuse. And I remember being in this training by T. Harv Eker. Again, if you know who Harv Eker is, author of the Millionaire Mind, the one thing that he kept saying is, in anything you do in life, there's one of two things. You're either going to have results, or what's the other one, guys? You're either going to have results, or you're going to have excuses. Yeah, results. If you want to play with words, you could say results or reasons. Yeah, but excuses. That's it. There's only two things that you will have in this business. And you get to pick which one it is. That's the funny thing. You have absolute 100% control of what to pick. We can't use the, you can say, oh, well, Rene can do it, or this leader can do it, like Maria can do it, or John can do it, but I can't because, or but, and everything after that is just the excuse. And it really hit me hard because at that point in time, I don't think I think I just got into this business here, and I had tried 2 previous opportunities. I've tried different businesses. For those who don't know, I tried having my own catering company. I tried having my own travel, part-time travel business. I was doing a previous industry for network marketing in nutrition. I had tried doing some tutoring stuff, on the side. I had my own real estate investment company on the side. I tried different things. And this one diagram that he wrote is like a piece of paper. He cut it in half. He wrote reasons on one side, and he wrote excuses on the other side. He says, whatever you do, you just have to pick one. You have to pick one. And so I felt like that really ties back into the leadership. And maybe you have an inactive upline. Maybe you have an upline that is not moving as fast as you. It's kind of hard because again, if you keep going up the hierarchy, you'll eventually have some active leader, right? So again, just because your sponsor or your sponsor is either brand new or they're not doing anything, why would you stop there? Again, results or excuses. If you kept looking up, you ask the company, hey, who call the company, say, what, I'm looking for someone to support me. They'll find you someone, right? So again, you either have a reason, excuse, or you have results. And so I want to ask a question to all of you. We have a bunch of people, a lot of people on the call tonight, guys. Again, a very good evening to all of you. Let me see your answers, right? Would you want to be sponsored by yourself? And the key thing here is we have to be honest with our answers, right? Because if the answer is no, that's okay. It's okay if the answer is no. That just means that we have a little bit of work to do, right? So Maria, Baptiste, I had no doubt in my mind that your answer would be yes. Shariza, same thing. Larry Hackman, I think Larry calls me like 4 times a day. I talk to Larry more than my mom. I'm kidding, Larry. Again, Larry, again, great answer, yes. Imelda, yes, I think Ashton Hill, thank you so much for being honest and saying no, right? Because I think that's the first step, in realizing where we are. Because it's kind of like you go to a doctor and you have a problem, but when the doctor, you get to the doctor and he sits you down with his coat and he has his stuff on, and he takes out a big needle or whatever, and he says, hey, what's wrong with you? And you say, nothing's wrong, right? It's not going to help you, correct? So, but again, once you can realize where you are, now we can start to set some goals and some targets. All right. So my next question now for you guys, again, thank you so much for all of your answers, and I know a lot of you guys are not there yet. And I think one of the most biggest things you can do if you want to raise your income, the easiest way to do that is to be able to say yes to that answer. Because I can promise you, if you can answer yes, it means that you now learned the products. You now learned the compensation plan. You learned how to navigate the website. You learned how to inspire your team. You learned how to answer questions. You learned how to prospect. You learned how to follow the company's systems. You learned how to, follow the system and duplicate the system amongst your team. And all that stuff is not hard to learn. It's learnable, right? It just takes time to learn it. So again, thank you guys for your honest answers. And because I really believe that in this business, the fastest way to make money is to be able to teach others. But in order to teach others, what must we do first, guys? in order for you to be able to teach someone else how to do something, what has to happen first? Let's see your answers, guys, while I get some water. I love your participation, team. Thank you so much, right? Yeah. One is be teachable. Be teachable, right? Yeah, learn. That's great answers, right? Equip ourselves. Thank you, right? But basically, in order to be able to teach someone else something, we have to be able to learn it ourselves first. So be teachable or be coachable. And that's actually one of the categories in the different types of distributorship. One kind of category are the people who kind of think that they know it all, you know, and it can be a challenge. Like some people, they think they know everything. Perhaps they're doing sales before, but again, it's not the same kind of sales, right? And so every company has a system that works, and so you might have a system, of course, that works in this business, but again, if you come into this business, and what I realized was, well, there's number one, there's a CEO who has built 4 multi-million-dollar businesses on his own. So he's a self-made millionaire. He's coached over a dozen other people how to make their millions. I realized there must be a system here. So why would I come in and try to bring in my own system if I know that it's already been proven in this company? So as the saying goes, why would you reinvent the wheel, right? The wheel works perfectly fine, right? Why would you go and reinvent the wheel as it goes? And so I love the fact that in this industry, you have a lot of support. Yeah, always be open to learning. And let me ask another question, right? Did you ever think, or do you ever think that at some point in time, you'll learn it all? It's another funny question. Do you think at some point in time you would have learned it all? And you don't need to learn anymore. You don't need to learn, be on calls, do personal development stuff, get motivation. No, you know everything. And the one thing that really impressed me, guys and gals, right, is that our own CEO, the founder, right, the Mr. Forensic Networker, again, self-made millionaire, built 4 multi-million-dollar businesses. He still learns as well, and he's always learning because, again, does the world stop evolving? No. So again, we have to evolve. We have to evolve as well, because if you don't get evolved, at some point in time, you will get left behind. And what's amazing is we have a lot of people on this call from different ages. Like we have people probably as young as a newborn who are in the business because their parents put them in. And I mean, if you guys aren't shy to put your age, I know we have some people who are very mature years, if you want to call it that, right? I'm sure we have people who are over 60. I know we have people who are over 70 years old in this business, right? But again, because we have Fountain of Life, we're feeling young inside, right? So okay, we have one person said that they're 60. Oh, Larry came out and he put it on the group chat. He is 78. By the way, if you ever meet Larry Hackman, he does not look like he is 78. By the way, I mean, he just, I think he knows Kung Fu or Karate as well, too. And he's very active. And so older than dirt. I think must be very young dirt there, John. But anyhow, so again, I want to just recognize Larry Hackman, 78 years old, and he's on this Zoom call. Oh, we have someone, Heather. So I won't mention your last name. We have 79. Wow. Oh, we have Maeve. Okay, I won't mention your name. I should really stop mentioning people's names here. We have initials MT, who says they're 80 plus. Oh, okay, actually, she puts it everyone. So Mavis is over 80 years old. Oh, Amilda says we have Ruben. Guys, isn't this crazy? I'm 41, and we have people. So I think we have the record here. Ruben from the Philippines is a stunning young, 87 years young. 87. We have 62. We have 50s. That's awesome. I'm asking this question because talking about evolving and staying caught up, right? I'll meet people who are in their 60s, 70s, even 50s. Again, results or excuses, and their excuses, well, I'm not good at computers. I'm not good at using a phone. But the funny thing is that, the one thing that makes humans unique compared to other mammals. I'm not sure if you've ever thought about this, right? But there's mammals, and we're also mammals, the category. You got dogs, cats, lions, tigers, cheetahs, all kinds of mammals, elephants, you have like the marine ones, dolphins and whales. And even as smart as dolphins are, right? The one thing that separates humans, right? Can you guys guess what that is? What's the one thing that separates humans from most of the other animals on this planet, right? Is we actually have the ability to learn and to evolve much quicker than other animals. We have the ability to, think with our brains. It's very rare to see animals in nature that can use tools or to even make a tool. And some animals do, like the otters can use these rocks to chisel their oysters open, right? Some monkeys might do a little bit, but humans have the ability to constantly evolve and invent things, right? But my point is that the people who said, I can't learn computers or I don't know how to do this, they just made it a decision to not want to learn. Because in this call here, we have plenty of people over the age of 50 and 60 who are on this call using Zoom. Maybe it's on their computer, maybe it's on their phone. But again, we got to stop making those excuses. And I want you to ask yourselves, guys, in this business, have you made excuses? And again, it's hard sometimes to be honest with ourselves, but I think if you make the excuse and you can own up to that excuse, now we can own that excuse and move forward and destroy that excuse. I'll be the first one to say it. I've done it too. Right? I said to myself, well, I think women are much more easier to be approachable, and when they prospect people, they're able to start conversations with people a lot easier than I am. That was literally one of my thoughts here. So it's funny, right? When we have some ladies in the business who come to me, and they have the opposite problem. They say to me, Rene, a lot of times when I start talking to people at networking events, they often take it the wrong way, and they think that like they're really talkative with me, but they have an agenda they want to get with them, and so they have the opposite end of the spectrum. And I was like, wish I had that problem. If I had that problem, I could prospect like crazy all over the place, right? But my point though, folks, is a lot of people make their excuses. And I realized but however, the excuse that I made, at the same time, I would look at other people who were in the business, who were also males, and they were exploding their business. They're talking to people left, right, and center. They're building like and trust. They're getting contacts, and they're selling products, and they're building their team. So you'll know it's an excuse if you see someone else in the business who's making it happen that you thought was the excuse, basically, right? So guys, what was some of your excuses? Let's have a conversation here. Again, it's a very open call, guys, because I think these are great calls to have. What was some of your excuses, or what is an excuse you might be having right now? And let's see who here can own up to this and be the first one to. So Maria did say that at the very beginning she had a lot of excuses. Yeah, John says he needs many more women in the business. Yeah, John, you have a lot of actually men in the business, which is again fantastic. But who here has ever made an excuse? It could be I'm too busy. Who here thinks they're too busy? Okay, yeah, when people turn you down, you can feel discouraged. Yeah, absolutely normal. I think it'd almost be abnormal in the beginning of your business to not feel that, unless you're like born differently. But we all do. But again, what now is the solution for this? When people turn you down, you can feel discouraged. One thing that I kept telling myself is don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. The one thing that I loved is that there's billions of people out there. There's people that you know that if you don't talk to them and share with them what you're doing, someone else will. And the thing is, we don't know what the result will be. Right? Maybe someone that you were scared to talk to, someone else talked to them, and they end up becoming a customer or a partner. That's possible. But again, how will you know until you talk to them? So if you ever feel discouraged, just realize that when someone says no, it doesn't mean no, never. It just means no, not now. There's so many cases of people that I've spoken to from like 14 years ago who never got started, and perhaps they just started buying products from me like a year ago. So they said no to me for 13 years, because no again just means not now. It doesn't mean never. All right? And again, don't take it personal, right? I believe that in this business, the funny thing is that everyone is in sales, and you don't even know that. And what do I mean by that? If you ever made that excuse, well, I'm not good at sales, the truth is everyone does do sales. The only difference is that some don't get paid for it, and here's why. Have you ever had the most amazing restaurant experience or eating the food that was so good, and you just had to tell someone, oh my God, this poutine, from this truck vendor was so delicious. Their French fries were just deep fried to perfection, and that gravy and cheese was so delicious. And you had to tell people how good the food was. Guess what you're doing? You're selling. You are selling. You're selling this product to other people, right? And so the only difference though is when you do it with that poutine, you're not getting paid for it. If you ever watched a movie that was so good and you had to tell someone else, right? You are sharing something, you just aren't getting paid for it. So if you found a product like Fountain of Life that was so good, right? What should you do? You should do the same thing and share it. So the key thing in my mind, every day when I wake up, there's three things that I always do, and I always talk about this. One is I wake up, the first thought that comes to my mind is I thank, you can thank, whichever is your religion, or if you don't have religion, just be thankful that you're alive. I think that's a great way to wake up in the morning, is just be grateful for another day. I think any day above ground is a great day. The second thing I do is as I reconfirm to myself that today is going to be the absolute best day ever. And the third thing I do is I ask myself, who can I help in this business? Because the reality is, guys, is that people need to take our products. I mean, Fountain of Life, what this product can do for such a low cost, people need to be on Fountain of Life, right? So we know it's so powerful, and all we have to do is share it. So again, if someone says no to you, that's okay. Do you get offended when someone says to you, I don't want to try that poutine, or that poutine looks horrible? Even though you think it's amazing, if they say to you, nah, I don't want to try it, do you care? Do you get discouraged if someone doesn't want to go eat at the restaurant that you recommended? Do you care if someone says to you, no, I don't want to watch that movie. It looks pretty boring to me. Do you care after you share how good that movie was if they don't want to go and watch that movie? Do you get offended by it? No. So there's no reason why if you were to share this product and they decline your offer, there's no reason why you should say or feel discouraged in this business. If that makes sense, please say it makes sense. And yes, Larry Hackman, there's a great book I read as well too. It's called Go for No. If you understand this logic, that the only way to get to the yeses is you have to get enough no's. So if I told you, for every 20 no's that you get, you will get one yes. And I personally introduced about 200 people over the last 14 years in the business. My team has now grown to over 26,000 partners in over 130 countries. So if you knew talking to 20 people and getting 20 no's or 19 no's and one becomes a yes, and if you want to have the team like I have, which is 200 people, what's your goal now? What's your goal, right? Get as many of those 19 no's to get one yes, go through the next 19 no's to get the next yes, go through the next 19 no's, and eventually you'll have 200 people. Again, as Maria said it, right? It's the law of averages. And the funny thing is this, right? The more times that you do something, by natural law of averages, you will become better and better at what you do. Do you ever start a new job and you're like the best at what you do off the bat? No, right? Everything that you've done in life, you started off not being good at it and you got better at it. If everyone knows here, Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, he's the soccer player, probably one of the highest paid soccer players in the world. And I remember one clip that really inspired me. And it was some kind of like a huge award ceremony. And he was sitting front row with his family, with his suit. And this interviewer with this microphone approaches Cristiano Ronaldo and says to him, what made you so good at soccer? Something like that. Like, what made you so good at what you do? And his answer was really interesting. Has anyone ever watched that interview? If you have, you know the answer. You can type it out. But I found it really interesting. And what he said was that, yes, having skill, like natural skill, can be important. But without hard practice and hard effort, it's nothing. You can have all the skills in the world, but without practice, it means nothing. And again, I felt like that is a good sort of embodiment of what we have to do in this business. Maybe there are a few people that can come in and they're natural and can get some good sales, but often enough, if it comes too easy, they don't learn the system and they don't duplicate properly. I'd rather be the person that kind of struggles in the beginning, because then I have to learn the ways to make it successful, but now I can relate to other people who are having a tough time in the business and can teach them what I did to get through that step by step, right? So again, by law of averages, the more that you repeat something, the more times that you talk to a stranger, the more times that you prospect someone, by law of averages, you'll get better and better and better. And thank you, Robin Netchie, for sharing that. Robin says, it took me several years to not take no personally, but I finally conquered it so it doesn't bother me now. Wonderful. When I heard several times, that no just meant not now. And again, every no you get, you're getting closer to what? Every no that you get, guys, I'm telling you, by law of averages, it's going to happen. Every no that you get, brings you one step closer to the yes. And guess what? By law of averages as well, the law of improvement, the more times you do it, the better you get every single time. And the law of averages, your ratio actually improves. So where do most people struggle then? They get lost in the beginning. As we heard it, right? And it happens to all of us. The first few no's, we get discouraged. Now we think, oh my goodness, this business doesn't work. I can't do this business. It doesn't work. You know, the funniest excuse that I've heard is, no one can make money in this business. Oh, I'm thinking, excuse me? I'm like, have you not looked at the company and see how many people are pushing products and making great money in the business, right? Again, what were they doing? They were making an excuse. And so everything that you do, guys, in this business, every time you have a challenge, everything that you think is a reason to stop, you have to remind yourself, that I'm making up an excuse. And do I want to have an excuse? Or do I want to have a result later on? Because unfortunately, the law of averages applies to the bad things. So if you kept telling yourself all these excuses and you're always making an excuse and that's your habit, what happens later on is it becomes a bigger and deeper habit. You start making excuses much faster and quicker. And so what's beautiful again is in direct sales, in network marketing especially, I love the fact that if there's someone else who's making the money, and there's all kinds of people who are making money, it means it's possible. We just have to learn what they're doing. And again, this coming Saturday, if you can be on that bootcamp training call from 10 in the morning, Toronto time, till 2 p.m., we're going to be talking about the most basic things you should be doing in this business to start to sell products and to start to build interest and start doing presentations, right? I don't think it's too hard doing a presentation. We even have videos you can use to show the presentation. But I think for me, what I had to really overcome and learn in my business was, okay, where do I go to meet people? Where do I go to prospect people? How can I meet new people? How can I prospect online? What do I say to people, right? If I go to a barbecue, or how do I call people in my contact phone to talk to them about the products? How do I, all these how-to questions, that's going to be the training we're focusing on this Saturday morning, going back to the core basics. And so please don't miss this coming Saturday morning's training, because I think it's really going to help you guys, because maybe you're good at doing that already and you have a way of doing it. Maybe you know 10,000 people and you have no problem finding the next person to talk to. But the question is does everyone else in your team in the future have what you have? And maybe not. So we have to, again, as leaders, we have to be able to teach the people in our teams to help them have success. Because the more success that they have, the more success that you have. And so again, I think that what's really important in this business is to help people get through those first few parts. Because once someone learns how to share the product and talk about the product and get the first sales going, guess what? It kind of snowballs afterwards, right? Yeah. Be able to duplicate. And again, can you duplicate a system if you aren't following the system, right? If you're not on the calls and you're not on the trainings, can you expect your team to learn and to duplicate? Probably not, right? And so, the training will be recorded. So again, if you can't make it at that time, please do watch the recording afterwards. And I want to go back up here before, because I saw So another thing that again that people would use before as a excuse is, let's see here. Okay, family life is getting in the way right now. Only 6 hours left because I have to sleep. Too much distractions, can't focus. I'm a single parent with 3 kids and job. I don't have a lot of time. Okay, so great. I love that. I never liked sales. I just feel good people that the products can help people. Yeah. So I'll start from the last one quickly. Number one, I always tell guys, we're not in the business of selling. If you try to sell something, you probably sound like a salesperson, and you might even smell like a salesperson, and that will scare your prospect away. We're in this business to do one thing and one thing only. We're not here to sell. What are we here to do? We're not here to sell. We are here to share. That's it. Because really all you can do to have success is become a good sharer. Share how it can help other people. Share how this product has helped other people. Share testimonials, right? That's the best thing to do. Again, we're going to talk more about this on our training on Saturday. That's the best thing to do to have success. And you're right, Susan, you have the right mindset that you feel good because the products can help other people, but we don't want to push the product down someone's throat. Don't step on their foot, they go, and then you squirt the FO into their mouth. Don't do that. We're here to share with them. And we had to let them decide and respect them. Do they feel it's for them or not? And that's it. And we go on to the next, right? Now, I love, again, Naima, thank you for sharing that you're a single parent with 3 kids and a job and don't have a lot of time. The one thing I can tell you is I find that a lot of people sometimes do feel like, okay, I got my job, I got the 3 kids, I got to juggle a million things, and the only way, and I think a lot of people, they're thinking in their mind that I have to set aside time to, go and do this business, right? And set an hour here and then make calls. And the thing is, the one thing that I love about network marketing, and I had a call actually with Yulia, and actually she had a prospect that asked me a similar question, and he's like, how can I build this if I already have a job and I'm really busy? I want everyone to recognize that, number one, this kind of a business called direct sales or network marketing or multi-level marketing is designed for busy people who want more. That's number one. Because let's face it, right? If you have a full-time job and you're really busy and 3 kids, I think everyone here can agree and respect the fact that the only way to build real huge wealth is to have a business. Like, unless you win a lottery or your parents are super rich, then you probably wouldn't be here. But otherwise, the only way to build real wealth is to have a business. I never met a wealthy employee. I've met wealthy business owners. You will never meet a wealthy employee, right? I'm talking about wealth, like passive residual income where you can just not go to work and enjoy your life and retire. Yeah, that kind of a wealth, right? I'm not talking about lawyers who are busy or surgeons who work 18 hours a day. They have a lot of money, but they're unhealthy and they're tired, and not that kind of wealth, right? So I never met a wealthy employee, but I met wealthy business people. And so if having a business is the solution to building wealth, right? What kind of businesses can we do? And if you're really busy and you don't have, so we can open a store, brick and mortar, but most businesses require so much investment of money and time to get it off the ground. Would you agree? Right? If you want to open a traditional brick and mortar store, you better have the investment to get a location, have extra money to hire staffing and salary and buy the equipment, buy the inventory, buy the whatever it is, pay for the monthly rent, pay for the renovations. So that's already not possible for like 90% of the population out there. Forget about having the money. Do you have the time? It's a lot of headache, right? That's why people who sometimes, they got it wrong and they might say bad things about the industry that we're in. But MLM or direct sales or network marketing, it is the most viable and like last best solution for the average person to hit a financial home run. And here's why. Aside from the fact that it's a low startup cost and you don't have to have huge monthly overhead, you don't have to become an expert in the business to do the business. Like, you better not open a pizza store if you don't know how to make a pizza, right? That's like crazy. Or you shouldn't open, I don't know, a golfing tutoring camp if you don't know how to play golf or teach golf, right? In this business, you don't have to know anything about anything because you can learn it as you go. You can earn while you learn. I love that. You can earn while you learn. And beyond that, the other beautiful thing about this business is if you're really busy and you don't have time to do a presentation, guess what? We have recordings. You have a My5 support team that if you need help with one of your prospects, to talk to them, to explain the products or explain the business, that's what you have a support team for. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. This is what makes our industry so darn powerful. If you want to open a coffee shop and in the same street you have another coffee shop, can you go and ask that other coffee shop owner, hey, Mr. Coffee Shop owner, can you teach me how to have my own coffee shop? Do you think he would want to teach you to have your own coffee shop and take his business from him? Right? They don't want to help you. But in our business, you have a bunch of people who are in the business and they want you to have success because the more that you can have success, the more that they can have success. It's such a beautiful model. It's a beautiful business model. But again, traditional business, I know a lot of rich people. You probably know a lot of rich people. If you want to have some fun with this, go ask those rich people, hey, can you teach me what you did so I can do the same thing that you do and make my own money? Because the answer is going to be no. Because if they teach you, you're going to end up taking the business from them. Right? So again, if you got a job, you got 3 kids, all you really have to do all throughout the day, you buy groceries. You go, you go pick up your kids, drop off your kids, you send them to school. You will meet people along the way. If you had spent $30 on 100 pieces of the FOL brochure, for example, and I'll tell you guys, I absolutely love this brochure because I have a lot, right? But again, $30 gets you 100 of these beautifully made, all the information, how it can help, 10 drops, all that good stuff. If you handed out 100 of these, you say, hey, by the way, can I give you this? That would start a quick 30-second, 1-minute conversation. And say, I would love to be able to send you some amazing testimonials of what this product has helped with. If you handed out 100 of these copies, you would at the very least sell 1 bottle of Fountain of Life. And the profits you would have made will cover the 100 that you just bought. And now, once you started that conversation with the person, right? If you're really busy, guess what? You gotta learn the tools, learn the system, right? There's video presentations of the product. I've done one on my YouTube channel on Fountain of Life. There's videos on the Safe Home Revolution products. There's videos on, the competition plan on how to, and all the packages, right? And you have a My5 support team. So everything that you need. But the thing is, you have to just start that initial conversation and you meet a lot of people from the morning that you wake up to the very late at night, all you gotta do is just, by the way, like, I got 2 kids. I drive my kids to schools in the mornings. I make their breakfast. I pack their lunches. I pick them up, of course, after school. I take them to tennis right now every day. But guess what? I literally, in car rides, at stuff, I'm always, whenever I have a moment, I'm trying to do the business. I think today I've got so many phone calls from people who are on this call, literally today, and I was in the middle of making dinner. Larry called me as I was making dinner, answered this question, hit another question. I finished my dinner, went back to my computer, and answered another question. So I'm literally doing this business as I live throughout my day. So I don't want you to think that you have to do this business at a certain hour of the day or a certain half an hour of the day. You do it all day long, and your main thing that you want to be doing on a daily basis is one thing and one thing only. What are we doing, folks? The whole entire day, we are simply, it's an S word, not a vulgar foul S word. It's a sharing. That's all. Sharing. We're just sharing. Sharing. It's funny. I told you guys that I was taking an Uber last week because my car, whatever. And it's funny, the Uber person just messaged me back. It's been like a week, right? And all I did was share with them this product on that car ride, right? So again, all in all, Emoji, we used to have this funny thing. We used to actually have a contest because in Singapore, we took Ubers or Lyft or Grab, as it was called, and we sold so many bottles to the Uber or the ride drivers, right? And again, if you want to know what do we say when we talk to these people, what do you say when you approach a cashier at a restaurant and you're paying your coffee? What do I say when I'm eating my lunch and someone brings me my bill? What do I say when I go to the bank to do banking? Or what do I say when I'm at a networking event? All that stuff we're going to teach you on Saturday. But the main purpose of today's call, again, guys, and we're coming up on our 10 p.m. mark here, was to really talk about just, I think, mindset and leadership. And again, to really understand that in this business, we don't have to reinvent anything. We just have to be really good at following the system and promoting the system to your teams. So think about it, right? If you ever introduce someone to the business, have you done a really good job at trying to plug them in to the system, right? Have you gone over the 12 commandments of the business, right? So you're going to the whole system this coming Saturday, but all in all, I could keep going on for another hour, but I did want to stay some time, of course, and finish our time. I call respectively at our 1 hour mark, and just say thank you so much, folks, for being on the call this evening. I hope that you got some golden nuggets that might change your business. I share with you a lot of the things that got me more pumped up and changed my viewpoints and my mindset about this industry. And again, I want to say thank you so much for being on the call this evening. We do have, of course, tomorrow morning, Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we have the Fountain of Life testimonial call. And again, we have a lot of people on this call. I'm wondering if all these people, right, will follow the system and be on the Fountain of Life call tomorrow at 9 a.m. Because that call is absolutely amazing every single week. There's so many stories being shared about FOL. There's so much questions being asked. And you want to get your prospects onto that call because that call is so powerful. So again, we'll see how many of you follow the system and, of course, invite your people to join the call tomorrow. And, of course, don't forget that we have an amazing training this coming Saturday for the boot camp where you're going to learn the absolute basic things that you want to focus all of your time on what you're going to learn this coming Saturday and just apply what you learn, and that will give you the success as it has for myself. So again, thank you so much, folks, for being with me on the call this evening. I know that you probably missed our CEO, and he will be back, of course, next week. And I want to answer one quick question from one of our guests here. Will we get our names on the flyer? What you do actually is on the flyer, you go to like your local Staples or your stationery store, and you buy these labels. It's like a whole sheet of like 24 labels, and they have the Word document that you can fill in your name, phone number, and email address, and you print it out, and you just stick on this label onto your own. So all of my marketing media tools, I put the labels at the back of all of my things. The last thing you want to do is, write your name. You could, but I think, spend a little bit of money. It's a tax deduction. Make it look more professional with an actual label. And at the very least, put your name and phone number on it. Like the last thing you want to do is hand out something and there's no phone number or email for them to reach you as well too. All right. So again, thank you so much, guys. I want to turn the call back to our amazing host Levi for the host of the month, and have yourselves a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening. I think, of course, Levi does have some announcements still. Thank you, Levi. Back to you.
Thank you, Rene. This was a fantastic call. Yeah, we learned a lot as a forensic networker. We're professional, and professionals don't make excuses. So yeah, that's one of the main points of being a professional. So we don't make excuses. Okay, so now is to jump into the announcement. I'm going to quickly share my screen here. Okay, let me know if you see my screen.
Yes, I can see the forensic networker. Thank you.
Great. So, okay, we are in the forensic networker call. This is a weekly call, and in the call in which we, as you already heard, talked about how to be professional. So make sure you have that in your mark in your calendar, and tune in every week. Okay. So quick on the announcement, we have the calendar. The calendar is filled for the month of July, August, and September. And we have an upcoming Caribbean conference, which starts July 18th to the 30th, and followed by a biannual inventory court, which start August the 5th. And we have the customer appreciation too, which is August the 13th, and followed by in September, a product innovation conference in September in Canada. And next year as well, we're going to have the lifestyle director LD cruise. So be tuned for those major events. Of course, the world tour already started, and now we are tuning to the conference in Israel, which is going to take place in July the 18th, followed by the one in Trinidad, July 18th to the 20th, Tobago, 21st to 22nd, coming back in Canada, July 3rd and 23rd, and Dominica, 24th, and St. Lucia starting the 28th. So be tuned for those conferences and invite your guests. Make sure your team are tuned for those conferences. Okay, the promotion, ongoing promotion, especially in India, is a Blitz promotion in which the buy one, get one free package, which are available for all lifestyle advisors. So make sure that your partner, your prospect in India jump into those promotions. Okay, we have the boot camp coming up July the 9th, Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 2 p.m. And we're going to have Rene Liao and Daniela to do a wonderful training. We're going to help us be more professional and to learn a little bit more about how to do the business, the better way to do the business, and avoid a lot of mistakes. So definitely write that in your calendar and make sure you are present along with your partners. Okay, on Sunday, July the 10th, we're going to have a virtual leadership cocktail, and we're going to have Corey Jones giving a testimony, and the host will be Archer Anthony. And I invite everybody to be there and to enjoy the call. And every Monday, as usual, we have the product Crossfire, and every Tuesday as well, we have the Forensic Networker. So I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. This has been a touching call, and we have been touching on the personal aspect of doing the business. We learned that we don't have, and we shouldn't make excuses. We should take our business into heart and be able to share. So go out of the box, and then be able to put in practice what we learn and share with the people we meet and everybody. So yeah, so this is it for us tonight. And yeah, if Rene, if you have a last word, go ahead.
No, I just want to say one quick thing that I shared last Wednesday. I forgot to mention it earlier about these, excuses versus results. Maybe I'll save it for Saturday. It's just that when I was in the Philippines and I was traveling with our team and Nora there, I just saw these kids, that were just born in poverty, and they were, playing by the ocean side, and their home was like a makeshift bunch of steel that came from a float from the ocean, and they made walls and they're sleeping on the floor. And I was like, that's crazy. I mean, they're just born at the wrong place, wrong time. And so sometimes when I see people making excuses, and then I see other children who just got born in a situation where it's not even their fault, I keep thinking, if those kids were given the opportunity to switch shoes with us or with you, would they make excuses? Or would they be so grateful for what they have and just build and build